has always been a big part of my life. But what if I told you that a few years ago, I've almost given up on my passion for theater because I didn't pursue it professionally as an actor? However, if I think about myself today, I've never felt more connected to theater and the community and really like I'm in the know because of my channel, because of you guys, because of my weekly theater outings. And all of this contributes to the fact that I have reconnected with my creative passion in so many different ways. And in this video, I really want to share 5 things that have helped me reconnect with my creative pursuits and how you can do it too, regardless of what your passion is. Let me know in the comments below what your hobbies and passions are and what would you like to reconnect with. I would really love to hear more about that. A little bit of background story about me. When I was a kid, I've done a lot of theater. I didn't grow up in London, but I was in an environment that actually championed theater and being on stage and performing. I was dancing, I was singing, I was doing acting, all these different things that really made me happy. But then when it got to uni, when things have changed, when I started living in London, a lot of these things that have helped me throughout my youth and like teenage years and were there for me, they just disappeared. And I almost didn't have this cushioned way of community that I've developed throughout all these years, because I literally moved to a completely different country, to a completely different city when nobody knows me and I don't know anything about how to get involved with these things. And it took me a long journey of living in London to actually get to the place of understanding how things work and how I can find my community and how I can channel my passion. But the first step is to actually identify that passion. I know that this sounds very simple, but we are changing and evolving, and sometimes things that we were interested in a few years ago might not really be our thing anymore. Throughout the years, I have also dabbled in different types of passions. I have tried tennis, I have tried choir, I've tried writing songs on my own, singing with other people, and all of these things are offering different insights into what I actually enjoy doing. It's always a good exercise to think, what are the things that you do when nobody's watching, and what are the things that you do to relax and when the time completely stops. I feel like I can sing or write songs or go to theater and just this doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like something that I willingly do and that I really enjoy doing, and that it actually fills me with good energy. It doesn't drain my energy. And another way to identify your passion is also to think, what are the things that you like reading about or getting to learn more about, or you know a lot about without needing to put a lot of effort into learning about it because it's just always there in the back of your mind. This is actually how I came up with my idea to start doing YouTube videos about theater, because at the point when I decided that I want to upload my first talking head video, I have gone to 33 shows in that previous year, and clearly it was an indicator that it is something that I would love to pursue and explore more. As part of this first step, I would just say write down 2 to 3 things that you think are interests that you would like to explore, and then let's move to the step 2. The step 2 is very much related to time management, because we need to understand how much time we have to dedicate to our hobbies or how much time we can spare throughout the week to actually dedicate ourselves to our creative passion and pursuits. A lot of the times we have 9 to 5 jobs, some people have families, some people have uni. Like there are so many different walks of life when we want to explore hobbies. So I think it doesn't matter how old you are, you're always going to have this element of, well, I have all these other things to do, so can I actually accommodate reconnecting with my passion in a more sustainable way? So depending on your circumstances, think what is the realistic pocket of time that you can dedicate, ideally on a weekly basis, towards your hobby. In my case, I realized that the weekends were the only time that I have uninterrupted to do something like YouTube channel. Obviously, I am going once a week to the theater, and this is in most cases the beginning of the week, depending on what I'm going to see. But then on the weekends, I tend to film my videos, script them, and then also edit, which is a fairly quick turnaround. But I do also have a 9 to 5 job from Monday to Friday. I work in marketing, and this is a job that also requires a lot of my attention, and sometimes I get home at like 6 o'clock and I'm really tired, and after a full day of work I'm not in the best capacity to work on my hobby or to do something like that. So when it comes to time management, it is important for you to know yourself, and I would say that one of the most important things is to actually figure out a way to stay consistent, because the best way to see some progress or to actually feel connected to something is if you give it a shot and you do it for a longer period of time. I would say that anything under 2 months is probably too little of a time investment, but I think that I've only started feeling the benefits of something like doing a YouTube channel after almost like a year of consistently uploading. So my top tips here would be find some time on a weekly basis, even if it's half an hour or an hour, and find a way to stay consistent as well, because that is where truly the difference will come from. My tip number 3 is to explore free content that is related to your passion. You might already be doing this if you're interested in something in particular, and naturally your TikTok or Instagram algorithm algorithm or even YouTube algorithm will show you the content that you are leaning towards or you're thinking about or you are searching. But I think there's a lot of value when you actually pursue this more from the perspective of I want to learn something. So for example, you want to learn how to play the piano, actually looking for a specific thing that you're interested in. You might be a beginner or you might be an intermediate and you've done it before and now you want to pick up jazz chord progressions or you want to do songwriting or something like that, depending on what skill it is that you want to pick up. I think that we live in a glorious time when it comes to free content, and a lot of people who are experts actually sharing their tips, especially on a platform like YouTube. People are uploading long videos where they are deep diving into music production, into chord progressions, into singing styles, into painting, into knitting. All of these different niches are represented on YouTube, and I'm sure that whatever your passion is, there will be someone who has shared some knowledge that you can consume for free and then understand basically where to take it from there. Exploring that free content will give you a good understanding of what you need to do to pursue that passion, what other people are doing, and what are the avenues that other people have explored. And it will just give you ideas of what you can do and how you can take your passion and creativity forward. We've got to number 4, and that is, as I hinted in the previous one, to explore courses and classes. This could be online, it could be in person, but I think when there is a formal way to introduce yourself or continue working on this passion and reconnect with it, I think in my case that worked wonders. I've done multiple dance courses, acting courses, singing, music production, everything that I kind of felt like I would like to explore more. I just signed myself up for like 6 to 8 week course, and in a lot of the cases since the pandemic there are online courses and there are online classes that if you for whatever reason, maybe you're not based in London or in a big city and then you need to find a way to attend this without necessarily spending too much time commuting, or maybe you just have a really busy home life and you need to find a particular time to be able to do that, then definitely exploring something like online courses would be super helpful as well. And I think that something that people don't talk enough about is that when you do classes and courses, this is where you get to meet people who are in a very similar headspace and stage of pursuing the same passion or reconnecting with themselves that you are. And a lot of the times this is where the biggest friendships can come from, or if you're looking to kind of just be surrounded with more like-minded people, I think classes and courses are fantastic for it. You are definitely stepping into that community, and that is probably the most valuable part of doing this and reconnecting with yourself and your hobby. And my 5th tip to reconnect with your passion is to make it a project. This is potentially an optional one depending on what you're working on and what your passion is and what you want to achieve. But I found that every time I had some sort of project that I want to round off and maybe share with my friends or my family or post it online, I have felt much more responsibility towards getting it done. Because I think the biggest trap that we can fall into when it comes to pursuing our passions is that other things can take priority. And sometimes those priorities aren't necessarily the best things to do, such as maybe binging Netflix or scrolling on your phone, or maybe there is something that you can skip and one night you stay in and dedicate yourself to your passion. When I made YouTube my project, when I said that I'm going to upload every Sunday, there was no negotiation with that deadline because I know that you guys are expecting me to share something, but also there was no negotiation with myself. And this is really impacted a lot of different decisions that I made in my life from then onwards. How I'm going to spend my weekends, what am I going to do on the weekends to accommodate the time to do something that I love. And it has transformed my lifestyle. So these are all of my 5 tips that are from my personal experience, things that have helped me truly reconnect with myself, because I don't think that when you have a passion or a desire to do something that is just this like superficial thing that is optional, I actually think that is very much an essential part of being you and being the happiest version of yourself. And this is a topic that I have a lot of passion for, and I will be sharing more videos like this with you guys. So I'm really interested to hear what are the other topics or stories or questions you might have for me, because I would love to know what's on your mind and how we can go through this journey of living a more creative life together. If you are interested in hearing a little bit more about how YouTube has changed my life and this whole journey that I've been on, then check out this video where I'm talking more about it.